hospital for the delivery of my 4th child. They'd picked up that she was, her heartbeat had dropped. The doctor was called. As he got to the humidity crib, he looked down at the baby and said to the nurse, "This baby is not breathing."
It was just a routine day when we initially got the call to fly to Scone with a medical team to pick up a critically ill newborn bub.
The worst thing about being a parent is when your child is really sick, and to hear it voiced, there's no heartbeat, there's no hope. The only hope this baby has got is with the Westpac rescue helicopter. Fine, where the hell's the helicopter?
We just kept getting called away to different sort of taskings that were seen at the time as the priority. I think it was about our 3rd attempt, and the words of the doctor, Dr. Rowley, was that, this baby's going to die. I think the decision was already made. We were going to continue on. The bub was stabilised. We placed her in a humidity crib and flown back to the base here in Newcastle, and then road transported to the Mater Hospital. That's when she started her ultimate way to recovery.
So it was 2006 that we really got back in touch with the helicopter and met Graham and Martin Rowley.
Young Danielle, beautiful young lady, came down and met me, and we sort of stayed in touch ever since.
To have him as part of our family is fabulous. It was a given that he would always be at Danielle's wedding.
To have him at the wedding was, very important. Very important.
Yeah, very special. Karen mentions that she gave birth to Danielle, but we gave her a life, and I think in a way when you think about that, that's true.
The Westpac is just an amazing service, and we are always grateful, and anything that we can do to help the service, more than happy to.
How do you repay something like a child's life? You can't.
Day in Port Stephens. I was at work. Me and my colleagues decided to go out for a bit of a wakeboard. Yeah, I came off after a jump. I was swimming back towards the board, and yeah, that's when the shark came straight up from underneath. I thought maybe I'd been hit by a boat or something. My arm felt a bit odd, so I looked down towards my arm in the water to see if everything was okay, and I actually couldn't see through the water. There was that much blood in the water, and that's about when I realised what must have happened. It must have been a shark, and I was in a lot of trouble. They got me back up onto the boat and started applying first aid. Oh yeah, it was a pretty scary experience.
The report came in that a person had been attacked by a shark up in Nelson Bay, and at the time we weren't really expecting anything major.
When we slowed down to come into the marina, to come up to the wharf, I sort of snapped back into a bit more consciousness, and I thought, I'm going to die.
It wasn't until we landed and we had to remove her dressings so the paramedics could assess the wound that we saw, wow, this was quite a significant event to her, unfortunately. That was when all stops were pulled out to get her to the hospital as quick as we could.
It was really overwhelming for me, and seeing the helicopter was, even more of a sense of relief.
She was conscious. She knew what was going on. She was quite lucid and quite calm, surprisingly. Brave woman.
The guys in there were really, really good, taking care of me. I remember Graham kept leaning down and comforting me. It just made me feel so much better. I went straight into emergency surgery at John Hunter Hospital. The surgeons there are incredible. They saved my life as well. It was a big effort on a lot of people's hands to keep me alive.
And to receive the injuries she received, she was lucky to survive.
The Westpac Rescue helicopter absolutely saved my life, and without them, I wouldn't be here. It's just impossible to express enough appreciation for what a wonderful service it is.
I'm an air crewman. Been here since late 1981. So what's that, 32 years I suppose? Well, helicopters, they fascinate everybody. You've only got to see when they land anywhere, people come out from everywhere, and I'm no exception to that. Helicopters are an amazing piece of equipment, and I've always loved aviation, and I love surf lifesaving. I love being a part of a surf club and combine both the things that I love, and bang, I'm still here today. It's fantastic. I like something with a challenge.
Good afternoon, Westpac to departed base.
Rather than going from point A to B, I like maybe a search and find them and recovery. That's always good. In saying that, I like to be in the front left-hand seat, not in the back going down the wire, because I don't think it's it's no secret that I'm petrified of going down the wire. But I sort of leave that to the younger blokes to go down the wire. I'm quite happy to stay upstairs and work the winch, but it's just a mental thing, I think, that little cable, and you know, I'm not a small guy. It just doesn't add up to me. We're conducting our annual helicopter underwater escape training, where basically we simulate the aircraft going down, different scenarios they put us through, and if you don't follow the rules or you don't follow the standard operating procedures, you could open the door with your seatbelt off and do a 360 in the cabin. Look, if you're claustrophobic, you're stuffed anyway. You've got a big metal cage strapped to your back. You can't see. You don't know if your door's going to be locked.
Brace, brace, brace.
Well, that was good.
Don't bother wishing me happy birthday today either, anyone.
Is it the 6th?
How old are you today, bro? 49. 49, big one next year.
And hopefully everyone's going to surprise me.
That's right, this way. The look on your face, mate, that was priceless. How's the heart rate? You're going to have a heart attack. Come on down.
You know, we're part of this big chain, this big cog. You know, one doesn't work efficiently without the other. We're just one link in a very big chain. And we're very humbled that we work for the community, and that's what we do. And myself personally, I'm very proud to actually work for this service and to have worked here for so long.
I'm Simone Lamazuria, and I work for Westpac as a local business banker in Newcastle. My daughter Lily had an accident 16 years ago. The people that lived next door were boat builders, so they always had keels and half-built boat in his yard. She just wandered off to where the kids were playing, and some of the children were on one side of this keel, and then it fell, and the children started screaming. When we lifted it up, she wasn't moving, and she had a lot of fluid coming out of her ear and blood coming out of her ear, and she was barely breathing. I just remember my sister saying to me, "She's not dead, she's not dead." Sorry. Well, they couldn't get the chopper to where we were because it's quite narrow street, so the ambulance took her in the ambulance with my sister and me to, this is terrible, the local football field, which is at Dora Creek Workers Club. So they had to stop the rugby game, and the chopper landed right there, and most of our friends were going, "What's going on?" When we got into the chopper, they are absolutely amazing, and she crashed 3 times on the way to Jump Hunter, and they revived her. So they put her in a coma. She was in a coma. We just sat there for 7 days, waiting in intensive care for a decision on what we were going to do with the life support. The next day she woke up. She couldn't walk, she couldn't talk. She was very, she had a lot of anemia, she had a lot of blood loss, she was very pale. But she just sat up and they just couldn't believe it. She was the miracle child. We had every single doctor and nurse in the hospital come to see this child that just woke up out of a coma. She is now in Spain, living as a nanny and really doing well. I really wanted to do something for the helicopter because I wouldn't have Lily. I just wouldn't have her. Her brain injury was so bad, she wouldn't have survived the road trip. So, I started fundraising for them. It's such a strange feeling to know that these people had such an impact in your life. And Westpac does such a fantastic job. The whole branch system gets behind things and it's absolutely amazing.